I'm him is an informal phrase primarily used in sports, meaning that the speaker is the best, the star, or the one everyone is talking about in a particular context. It's a declaration of being the real deal, often said after a remarkable performance. The movie Him is a psychological horror film produced by Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions, centered on a promising young football player whose career and sanity are jeopardized by his manipulative idol. Even though this movie was produced by Jordan Peele, it wasn't directed by him. I didn't discover this until today, but the movie was actually directed by Justin Tipping. This movie has had a surge of bad reviews, but I feel like there's a lot here to discuss. So let's begin. Our main character, Cam, has a father who has strong toxic masculine beliefs, showing his son the quarterback of the Saviors getting injured over and over again, forcing him to watch, claiming true men make sacrifices and play through pain, no matter the cost, saying in quotes, "No guts, no glory," which is the title of a training manual made by an Air Force General Frederick Corbin Bless in 1955. The military has a strong connection with the football world and became more popularized when fathers came back from war worried their child wouldn't be tough enough. It got to the point where even the military had their own football team during World War II. This is important because Cam's dad used to be in the military, so he probably made his son play the game so he wouldn't be, in quotes, soft. However, forcing a child to play a sport can lead to burnout and a negative impact on the parent-child relationship. Eventually, Cam does tell his dad he doesn't like playing football, but soon after that, he passes away. So Cam feels guilty and continues playing because he knows it's what his dad would have wanted. And when he told him how he felt, he let his dad down. Cam gets into college football and is immediately recognized for his great talent, with whispers of him replacing his idol on the Saviors team. Right before he has to go in and showcase his skills to the team, one of his idol's fans attacks Cam, causing him to have a serious head injury throughout the rest of the movie. It's later discovered that this attack was orchestrated by his future team. Now, after the accident, we get a closer look at Cam's family life, and I noticed that whenever something crazy is going on in Cam's life, everyone else is dysfunctional and loud, and they don't seem to notice how much it bothers Cam. He has to yell in order to be noticed, and the moment he does, everyone is wondering why he has a problem. Moving on, despite Cam not showing up to showcase his abilities for the Saviors, his idol, Isaiah White, takes him under his wing and invites him over to train. Cam isn't supposed to be doing any serious training at the moment because of his head injury, but he chooses to go because he simply can't pass up this opportunity. No guts, no glory. The training spot is in the middle of a desert somewhere, and outside a few yards away from the entrance is a bunch of crazy fans of Isaiah White. One lady remarks that they don't want him and spits on his window. They then pull in and Cam wanders into the place looking for Isaiah. When he finds him, he is greeted, and we are shown the first lesson: fun. In the beginning, Cam's training with Isaiah seems fun and inspiring, but the film quickly subverts this notion. Isaiah forces another player to repeatedly take brutal hits from a football machine for his amusement, revealing the core of the sports industry. The next lesson is poise, the pressure to perform. Cam is tested on his ability to maintain composure under extreme duress. Isaiah's increasingly unsettling mind games force Cam to confront the immense pressure that accompanies being an elite athlete. The third lesson, leadership, the facade of a mentorship. Isaiah presents himself as a mentor guiding Cam to greatness, but he is actually part of an occult lineage that ritualistically transfers blood to create the GOAT, or the greatest of all time. This is a form of blood doping. Blood doping is the misuse of certain techniques or substances to increase the number of red blood cells in the bloodstream. Since red blood cells deliver oxygen to the muscles, this gives athletes, particularly in endurance sports, a competitive advantage. This is usually done with one's own blood, but in this case, Isaiah isn't using his own blood. And yes, using another player or another donor's blood for a transfusion to improve athletic performance is considered a form of blood doping. The next lesson is resilience, the celebration of sacrifice. Isaiah's backstory, including a career-threatening injury, is presented as a testament to his resilience. The film, however, frames these acts as monstrous sacrifices rather than honorable ones. The fifth lesson is vision, seeing the true cost of success. During his training, Cam has horrifying visions and experiences strange phenomena, leading him to realize the truth of Isaiah's blood rituals. This vision is the lesson that success at the highest level requires more than skill, it demands a Faustian bargain. A Faustian bargain is an agreement to trade something of great moral or spiritual value, like one's soul, for worldly benefits such as knowledge, wealth, or power. The sixth lesson is sacrifice, breaking the cycle. The final confrontation forces Cam to choose between continuing the bloody ritual to becoming the next him, or destroying the system altogether. By killing Isaiah and refusing the contract, Cam chooses to sacrifice his guaranteed fame and success to break free from the sinister cycle. Cam ends up learning that he was groomed, not only by Isaiah, but also by his father. His father was in cahoots with the people running this operation from the very beginning. He knew these people since he was a child. If you're trapped in a cage and you have to choose between food or freedom, do you really have a choice? These are the words spoken by Isaiah to Cam, and when I first heard it, I was confused. But now I realize Isaiah was telling Cam about the cage he is trapped in now, that he is him or the goat. Earlier in the movie, there is also talk about a mascot, which represents a figure of insignificance among many supporters, the opposite of the champion, him or goat, and a symbol of being forgotten and consumed by the Savior's football cult system of greed and control. The concept is used to show how the original Native American football players were reduced to symbols rather than pioneers. With the film's antagonist, Isaiah, becoming a mascot in this sense after Cam defeats him, and the entire system feeding on ambition. Isaiah is constantly warning Cam about becoming a mascot and eventually becomes one himself at the end of the movie. Now, this movie is filled with Christian references, like when Isaiah White tells Cam about his belief of football, family, and God. This is a flipped version of a more popular saying, God, family, and football, from an evangel Christian academy in Louisiana, made by their coach Denny Duran in 1989. This is done to reflect the sport's cult-like devotion, presenting football as a religion centered on player worship and sacrifice. The other Christian references is the Last Supper depiction in the movie, which shows Cam in the center of a group of other figures during a media day training session. The scene serves as heavy-handed symbolism connecting football to religion and blood sacrifice, with the team's owners seducing Cam with a toast or red wine, as mentioned on the Daily Beast. As for the darker imagery, there are multiple goat symbols because the acronym the GOAT is being used to take on literal and demonic meaning, with goat-shaped helmets and other goat visuals symbolizing a demonic pull of greed, and many in the sport which is said to be linked to the demon of avarice, Mammon. Mammon is the demon personifying greed, avarice, and material wealth. I think this clash between God and Mammon is a good representation of the quote in the Bible: "You cannot serve both God and Mammon." This was my full analysis of the movie Him. If you enjoyed, let me know in the comments.